Bust it.
Hello and thanks for staying with us. Ait Political Platform, and my name is Amechi, and our work resumes after the public holidays, and the president is set to sign the 2018 budget on Wednesday. That's tomorrow. He has also postponed the weekly Federal Executive Council meeting, the fifth time the president will be doing it since he assumed office. The last time it was after a long public holiday, and this time around is following from that same angle. But the APC stalwarts are in Abuja. The city is getting busier. The governors are in town, and here they will be meeting tomorrow to iron out some of the problems facing the party ahead of Saturday's national convention. But the question is the party going to go the way of the PDP and come out with a unity list where there are discordant tunes from the party? Some say it is the way to go to avoid a discord and conflicts, which may lead to some people walking out from the party at the convention venue. Some others said no, maybe consensus, we have to call it another name. But these are the feelers we are getting from the APC camp. But we can tell you that 20 of the aspirants will be returned unopposed, no challenger to face them come Saturday, but 42 positions will be up for grabs as they will be going into election. But initially we thought it was going to be an easy victory for the former governor of Edo State, Adams Oshemole, as the chairman of the party. But some other persons have picked form. He will be contesting against two gentlemen, Clement Ebiri and Osare Men Osumbo, former governor of Edo State, for that prize position. And the president, we heard, as reported in some national dailies, has ruled out a meeting with members of the new PDP. He has called their bluff, according to reports all over. Some even use unprintable words that they should go to wherever they want to go to. He will not meet with them. We hear that there are some different positions around the president's camp. Should he concede and meet with them, or should he call their bluff? Well, the negotiations with the vice president is continuing, but would that position of the president be the last straw that will break the camel's back for the new PDP members? And one interesting development is taking place in the National Assembly. The bill to criminalize estimated billing is still moving slowly. Public hearings have been held, sponsored by Femi Gbajabiamila, the one of the APC stalwarts. He believes that the electricity distribution companies are taking advantage of Nigerians by intentionally not providing meters for them and placing them on estimated billings, forcing them to pay for electricity they did not consume. If this bill becomes law, it will be criminal for any of the distribution companies to charge estimated billing on any electricity consumer in Nigeria. Is it the right step? Last week on this program, we had Edwin Clark, chief elder statesman. He's a member of the group, Southern and Middle Belt group, that called for the sack of INEC chairman, saying he does not have the credibility to continue in office. Today we'll be hearing from INEC what they think about that call and their plans for very important elections coming up in Nigeria. Rotimi Jikomi, chief press secretary to the INEC chairman, is already in the studio with us. But let's first welcome my colleagues. Adebayo Bodiri, good morning. Amishi,
information available indicates that the president said he will not be involved in the dialogue with the new PDP bloc of the APC. Purely, it stands from available information is that he said it's purely a party matter and it should be sorted out by the party leadership. But I think the vice president...
But the president has also been involved in party matter by siding with Adams Oshemole. That's another party matter.
Well, this time around, I think he's distancing himself from further dialogue, and I said, I bet he's not opposed to the move by the vice president calm frayed nerves and solve the differences, resolve the differences between the new PDP members and our bloc and the party leadership or whatever government officials. But I think events in the next days will show clearly whether those talks will actually yield fruits. There is a good development from Maiduguri yesterday. You will recall 2 weeks ago, Aliko Dangote donated 150 cars to the Nigerian police, and yesterday he launched a village, an entire village, valued at about 2 billion naira for internally displaced persons. And the uniqueness of it is that the beneficiaries are going to be widows and children, those who are orphans. And I think this is highly, highly commendable against the background of, it's not the only rich Nigeria. There are others who are also very, very rich in the country who seem not to be, who have not shown interest in that regard. No matter which way you look at it, the situation in the Northeast, particularly Borno State, is a national disaster. And for him to come out and offer such, build such an estate, and you will recall equally too that not long ago, he gave 7 billion naira to internally displaced people to facilitate their welfare. And that is in addition to this new housing estates which he has built. And one thing he did again was he also gave each of the beneficiary 100,000 naira in addition to provision of
to start off a business.
Yeah, a school, and as well as within the estate and a medical center. This is highly, highly commendable. And I think Nigerians, those who are rich, it should be a wake-up call for them to also have the feeling for those who are currently suffering as a result of the terrorist attacks in different parts of the country.
Uju Ejeye, also welcome to the program.
Amici, I agree totally with Bayo Bodunri that the rich in our society should have a heart towards those who are less privileged or those who are facing one form of affliction or disaster or the other. It is not enough for you to have money and keep everything to yourself, more so that you have benefited from the society. The rightful thing to do would be to give back to the same society that you have gained from, and that's what Aliko Dangote is doing. You find that the richest man is not the man who has the highest amount in the bank, but the man who is able to impact humanity, who is able to impact the society that he belongs to. That is the richest man, and I applaud him, and I pray that others would follow that example so that we give each other a sense of belonging in this entity called Nigeria. And as for the one of the APC convention, somebody jokingly, a PDP person, jokingly told me yesterday, it appears the APC is trying to copy our example. Does it mean that the unity list? Does it mean that the PDP is not setting good examples?
They can call it another name.
Exactly.
Consensus list.
I think that
to make a difference from.
I think that the APC needs to debunk that, because I remember that the APC came out with strong criticism of that unity list, so they must not be seen to be going the same way.
Well, they say they are trying to reach consensus. Meetings are ongoing. Like I said earlier, governors will be meeting. They said the residents of the Imo State governor tomorrow. These are apart from other meetings that have been ongoing. The truth is that if you go into a direct contest in a national convention without some form of understanding,
consensus building,
without some form of understanding and consensus, the party will be bruised and wounded at the end of the day. Ijema Sama, welcome to the program.
Yes, Amechi. About 22 out of the 63 candidates that will be contesting in the convention this weekend already returned unopposed. 20. They are already returned unopposed. That's according to Abike Dabiri. I think one of the members of the organizing committee, publicity secretary of the organizing committee of the convention. She has always been the organizing committee publicity secretary, and she has done that over time perfectly. And it's not easy for you to bring 63 or 62 members contesting
42
contesting into
6,000 delegates will be
exactly
voting
into the convention without having crisis. So I think what the APC is doing is to have understanding of what is happening in their party. And talking about their convention, there is going to be, I perceive I am feeling and I'm perceiving, not just me, political watchers are perceiving that people may come out from River State because there is still a pending court judgment on that Congress in River State, whether the state Congress or the local government Congress. I would not be surprised if they still go to court to say the delegates that will come for that convention are illegal. Okay. So I think the APC should concentrate on River State and try to settle the two factions in that state so that they don't have problems on Saturday.
Sholaja Simi, welcome to the program.
Well, obviously it means that by this Saturday, or even as early as Thursday, Abuja, the nation's capital, will be a beehive of activities.
It's already beaming with activities.
With over 6,000 delegates for the All Progressives Congress's convention. Well, I think the ruling party at the federal level, and of course in no fewer than 24 states in Nigeria, need to put their acts together. Political horse trading will definitely intensify during the run-up to this election. But I expect the president, in my own humble submission, that like you told Boduri, that not to stay away at this time when a faction of the party
should get involved.
We are not happy with what has been
because
happening.
These were some of the stories they told Goodluck Jonathan as president when they were moving out of PDP.
And the same
we can do without them. Let them go. So
do we see a walkout of these aggrieved members of the parties on Saturday? Well, we'll wait to find out how things will play out in the run-up to this national convention of the All Progressives Congress.
Mustafa Mohammed, you've been missing in action. Welcome back.
I mentioned a lot of people are trying to read meaning into the president's statement that he will not be discussing with the new PDP. The truth of the matter is what brought the PDP into power in the last general election was not an APC in the last general election was not an all APC vote. Disgruntled people from the PDP have voted for APC. Those who said you walk out from the PDP, known as New PDP, have voted for APC for Buhari to emerge. 22 other political parties and the foot soldiers of PDP in the northern part of Nigeria have also voted for the APC. So waving them with your bare hand is actually a very big mistake, because I don't think you can wave people like Tambuwal, Saraki, Wamako, Kwankwaso, Atiku. Look at the kind of state they come and the vote that this state brought. If you are waving them off,
Atiku is already gone.
You are waving them at your own peril. But let me tell you, all these meetings they are having is a gimmick. The people have planned to move out.
You think their minds have been made?
Yes, somebody among them spoke to me. They are ready to move out. So meeting or no meeting, they are going to leave the APC. And of course, Dangote need to be commended. He did very well. The oil billionaire from Borno, Alhaji Muhammad Indimi, sometimes last year, built a whole community too. In fact, his own type was that ready-made houses from the United States was coupled and brought in and set up in places like...
It appears he has something for the United States because he has also been contributing millions of dollars.
Yes, because he's doing his oil business there. So the other rich men, especially those from Borno, they are hiding themselves in Abuja here in the comfort zone with their families. Okay. And then you have hundreds of thousands of people suffering in there. If they don't help out, it doesn't translate into the wealth they are holding.
Let's welcome the gentleman from the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Rotimi Jikomi, Chief Press Secretary to INEC Chairman. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Rotimi Oyekomi.
Oyekomi there. Now, the issue of Oshun, I think it was the resident electoral commissioner in Oshun that said smartphones won't be allowed in the police stations during the governorship election in August.
Well, I think the issue is being taken out of context.
September, I think, yes.
Right. I think it's been taken out of context. The whole idea is to protect the process, really. You know that vote buying is common, and the process is that you vote and you show your ballot paper or things like that. And then I think they got some information that phones were to be used for such purposes.
That is when you thumbprint.
That's right.
You snap.
Then
when you go out, you collect money from a party agent as evidence.
Exactly. So I think that is the context in which the REC talked about it, but not that you cannot bring phones to the vicinity. I don't think that is the issue.
But the National Commissioner in charge of information, Prince Chuyebi, said for the Ekiti and the Osun election, INEC for the first time will do everything humanly possible to stop vote buying. If they are doing everything to stop vote buying, must there be fear about using phone?
Well, you know that INEC does not have the power to arrest and prosecute, but we have a very good relationship with the Nigerian police.
To prosecute?
To arrest and prosecute. We cannot do that. We do that.
No, I think under the Electoral Act, INEC can also prosecute alongside the police.
We do that in conjunction with the police. You understand?
In the last general election, there were violence, bribery. Even the recent Edo election, our colleague Ijoma was there. The former INEC chairman, Professor Jega, even mentioned the name of a serving senator. Then nothing happened. Is INEC a bulldog, a toothless bulldog?
Well, part of the amendment to the Electoral Act is this issue of setting up election tribunal to address these issues. And we are hoping that the National Assembly will expedite action on that. But in recent time, we have recorded some successes. I know that in Minjibi, local government in Kano, where some people engaged in thuggery, and we had to stop the election. People were arrested and were successfully prosecuted. So we are making some progress.
Now, to our main issue, why we brought you here, is INEC chairman going to resign, or will he wait to be sacked based on what the South and Middle Belt groups said?
Well, I think under the Constitution, people are entitled to their views. People are entitled to pass their vote of confidence or whatever it is. But we want to remain focused, really. The 2019 general election is less than a year away. A lot of things are in process.
About 8 months away.
Yes, so we don't want to be distracted by all these little things.
You call it little things, but is it proper to conduct an election in an atmosphere where a lot of stakeholders and some Nigerians have no confidence in the electoral umpire? Is it not better to actually work towards coring the confidence of the people?
Well, contrary to your assertion, I think we have, our stakeholders have a lot of confidence in us. We hold quarterly meetings with our stakeholders, political parties, civil society organizations, youth organizations, women organizations, and the feedback we have is that of commendation about what we are doing, because we are very open. Since this particular commission came on board in 2015, we have been very transparent about the things we are doing. We take people along. In fact, before we announced the date for the 2009 general election, we invited all the political parties. We brought in the civil society organization, and we are in tandem. But you see, you cannot take the statement of one group to equate the fact that all stakeholders are saying the same thing. So they are two different things.
But I want to ask, I'm taking you back to the use of smartphones. INEC is an agency built by law. And if you have to change or you have to step on the rights of every Nigerian, don't you think you still need to go to the same law to find out if this is comfortable for them? Because I don't think there is any law in the Nigerian Constitution, Electoral Act, that says you should not use smartphone when voting.
The law cannot be specific in all instances. But of course, the law gives INEC that power to issue guidelines on how elections will be conducted. And if we see that a particular process or action can disturb, the process, we have that right to stop it. Like I said, the issue is being taken out of context. We are not saying people should not bring smartphones to the center. In fact, for people who want to witness the counting and all that, there is a radius, there is a distance you can stand.
And be filming.
And be filming, and all of that. But we are saying the process of voting itself, you don't need your smartphone to thumbprint.
Now, there are two issues the leaders that raise why the chairman must be sacked from his position. First, they said there's an undue influence over him by Amina Zakari, who they believe is a relative of the president. Much of the decisions taken in INEC are actually the agenda of Amina Zakari. How true is this?
Well, it shows that this group does not really know the internal workings of the commission. What is the commission? the chairman, and 12 national commissioners representing the 6 geopolitical zones of this country. The membership, you need to find out the caliber of people that are there. These are accomplished human beings. These are people that cannot be teleguided. Okay? Now, the Commissioner Zachary occupies a strategic position, but I want us to pay attention to the conduct of elections since this commission came in. We have conducted elections so far into 180 constituencies, including 5 governorship elections. And they have not told us that those elections were rigged. And this is the woman in charge of electoral operations. So she should actually be commended rather than being condemned.
Does she have any special relationship with the INEC chairman beyond that of other national commissioners?
Well, it depends on what you are talking about. Every national commissioner has a relationship with the chairman. They meet every time. They talk about issues. They are in charge of several things. So they must have a relationship. But I don't know how they are trying to single out, this particular woman. It doesn't make sense to me.
Before you come in, Mustafa, please, the second point I want him to quickly address. The underage voting in Kano and Katsina. They said INEC empowered a committee. They have refused to publicize the report. That INEC has held on to that report without sharing it with the public.
Thank you very much. Incidentally, AIT was one of the media organizations that witnessed the unveiling of that report. There was a briefing, and we stated our position. Local government elections are conducted by the state electoral commissions, and Kano did just that. Now, when this opera started, INEC constituted the Abubakar Nauche committee to investigate, and our main focus was not on the conduct of that election, because that is not our purview. Our main focus was our voters register used. And one of the things we discovered is that in many of the polling units, we interviewed many people, we went to all the places and all that. We discovered that our voter register was not used in so many polling units, And then some of the video clips that were uploaded on social media, I personally investigated about 2 or 3 of them. They were uploaded pre-2015. And this is the problem with social media. It has the good side and the bad side. People
now quickly, before you finish, the voter registration, a lot of Nigerians, even places close to Abuja, the capital city, like Nasarawa State, Niger State, and Kogi, there are a lot of complaints about people not being, captured. They actually don't see those doing the registration. Are they spirits?
Well, I know that there are challenges, but since we started in April 2017, we have registered over 9 million Nigerians. That's more than the population of some West African countries.
Absolutely.
And then another thing I wanted to appreciate that INEC has got only 16,000 staff, from the chairman to the lowest staff, all over the country. I'm saying that we are trying our best, and we just want people to be patient. We've bought new machines, things have improved, and this is a large country. This is a country with a huge population.
You just said that you found out that the register used for that election were not INEC's register. Does that in itself not contravene the law? Because the law says they have to use the register from INEC. You misunderstood what I said. I didn't say that they used a different register. I said our register was not used in many of the polling units. But you see, it is not our business to now ask them why they didn't use it. We have investigated and we have made our
somebody should go to court.
Yes, because like I said, local government elections are the business.
Okay, now very quickly, let me take you back to that. Are you going to make that committee report on underage voting public?
Of course. We have unveiled the main thing. What is going to? It's just as saying that okay, you upload it on the website, which we are going to do. But the essential.
When will you do that?
Well, as soon as possible.
Okay, we'll take you on your word. Maybe some other time you have to come around. So some of the allegations they raised was that Nigerians and Chadians are also being registered. Malians, so many of them.
And it's not only that group. the PDP has also raised certain allegations,
No,
and some other opposition parties.
This is the first part. Rotimi Oyekomi will bring you back. I also have another friend, Rotimi Ijikomi, also a journalist in News Agency of Nigeria. That's why I miss it. But you come back, Oyekomi. Thank you so much.
Thank you for
joining
having
us on the program today. Thanks for being part of it. My name is Amechi, and we have a nice day.